Assalamu alaikum students, and welcome you all in our online classes. I am your English teacher Saira, and this is part 2 of lesson 9. In this part we will try to do the exercise of this lesson. First we will do the oral activity mentioned on page number 97. There are two questions mentioned in oral activity. First is how important is the nursing profession? And the second question mentioned in this activity is the profession of nursing valued in Pakistan? You will solve these questions by yourself, and you can take help from the point that you can see on your screens. Try to write your answers in 3 to 4 lines, and your answer should not exceed from 40 words. How important is the nursing profession? In this, while writing the answer of this question, you can keep the following points in your mind. Caregiver. Nurse can help the patient to maintain physical needs, prevent illness, treat health conditions. You can discuss all these points while writing your answer. Next is the profession of nursing valued in Pakistan? While writing the answer to this question, you can keep the following points in your mind. Underrated profession, the career structure, how nurses are paid, their compensation, and is there any organized system to impart training for them? Then there is another part mentioned in the same portion. Prepare a group presentation on the problems of nursing profession. You can write this part in the form of a question. Discuss the problems of nursing profession. And this question may also come to you in exam in the form of a paragraph. We will do this part in the form of a question. Discuss the problems of nursing profession. While writing the answer to this question, you can discuss the following points: their compensation, workplace violence, long working hours, and workplace hazards. Suppose if a paragraph is given to you on the same topic, you can utilize the same points after writing the introduction, and then definitely at the end you will conclude the paragraph also in your own words. Next part is comprehension. You can see the questions on your screen. Some keywords are given to you to help you to write down your answers. This exercise will be solved by yourself. You can pause the video and complete this portion, and then can move to the next part. I hope so you are done with the previous part. Our next part is exercise B. Rearrange these activities in correct sequence. In this part, you have to rearrange all these sentences in the correct sequence in the same way they occurred in the story. Look at these sentences. Let us find the correct sequence. If you see sentence number 2, as a young professional, I wished to save the world. This would be the first sentence. Then sentence number 8, one day standing at the bedside of a young patient, I wondered if she could make the same recovery like others. Then sentence number 1, we do not have much hope for her. Then sentence number 6, the advice to leave the patient unattended did not seem right. Then comes sentence number 3, I could not leave my patient fighting a lost battle on her own. Then we will write sentence number 5. One day I was thrilled to see she lifted her little finger, all was not lost. After writing sentence number 5, we will write sentence number 7. Thanks to Allah, she was my patient, standing and walking on her own feet. And the last sentence would be sentence number 4. I was proud to be a nurse. So the correct sequence will be 2, then 8, then 1, 6, 3, 5, 7, and at the end sentence number 4. After this exercise, there is vocabulary exercise A. In this exercise, you have to match column A with column B. In column A, different words are given to you, and in column B, meanings of the same words are given to you. You have to find out the correct meanings, and then you have to match it with the correct word. First word is beside. Beside means at the side of. Second is ironic. Ironic means conveying opposite sense. Third word is made up. It means decided. And the last word is justify my stance, which means prove myself right. Now we will do exercise B, vocabulary, same part. Identify the phrases and idioms in the unit and use them in sentences. You can see some of the phrases and idioms on your screens. First is made up my mind. Second, justify my stance. Third, popping in my mind. And fourth is fighting a lost battle. Now what you are supposed to do is to make sentences from the given idioms and phrases. You will make sentences by yourself. Our next exercise is exercise C, vocabulary. Use the words in sentences first as a verb and then as a noun. To use these sentences as a verb and as a noun, let us discuss both of these terms first. Noun and verb, both are parts of speech. Noun is any naming word, and verb can be an action or state. Let us discuss them one by one to make it more clear. What is a noun? Noun can be the name of any person, place, thing, object, or feeling, or any idea. For example, Sarah went to academy to attend her classes. In this sentence, the word Sarah and classes both are noun because these are the naming words. Sarah is the name of a person and classroom is basically the class where you take your lectures. That is the name of a place. In this way, both of these words are naming words. That is why they will be called noun. In the same way, feelings and ideas also have some name. For example, honesty is the best policy. Now, what is honesty? Does it have any physical appearance? No. Next word is happiness. Happiness cannot be bought. Now, what is happiness? Does it have any kind of physical appearance? Again, no. So, for a noun, it doesn't matter that it always should have any physical appearance. The object that have physical appearance, they also have name, and all the other things like feelings and ideas, they also have name. Still, they do not have any kind of physical appearance, but they have name. So, any naming word, whether it's the name of a feeling or any idea or any object, it will be called noun. Now move to verb. What is a verb? Verb can be an action or a state. Action means, for example, I am delivering the lecture right now. What is the action that I am performing right now? I am delivering a lecture. So delivering is the action that I am performing right now. That is my action, and it will be called the verb. In the same way, if I say, I like chocolates. In this sentence, the word like is a verb. Although it is not an action. I haven't performed any action, but this time it is a state. What I like? I like chocolates. So a verb can be an action or a state. I hope the definitions of noun and verb is clear to you now. Now what you're supposed to do, they have given you some words. You have to use these words first as a noun and then as a verb. They have solved a word for you in the example to make you understand how will you solve this exercise. The word is done. They have used this word first as a verb. First go straight, then turn left. So what he's supposed to do, he will turn left. The word turn here is the action, is the verb. And in the second sentence, the same word is used as a noun. It is my turn now. Now in this sentence, the verb is already used. Is the state of being. It is a verb, and is used here as the main verb. The word turn here is used as a naming word, as a noun. So in the same way, you will make sentences for the words that are given to you in this exercise. You will solve this exercise by yourself. Next is grammar exercise A. Rewrite the following paragraph. Put in articles a, an, and the to replace where necessary. Before doing this exercise, let us discuss articles. We have already read articles in class 9th, 8th and 7th. Let us review this concept. Articles again comes under the category of parts of speech, and there are two kinds of articles, definite article and indefinite article. What is definite article? We know there are three articles, a, an, and the. The word the will come under the category of definite article. We will discuss it later why we call it a definite article. And the other two words, a and an, they comes under the category of indefinite article. Now where do we use these articles? The usage of these articles will make you clear why they are called indefinite or definite article. Indefinite articles a and an are usually used with countable nouns. For example, please bring me a glass of water. In this sentence, I have used the indefinite article a with the noun glass to count it. But if I say this window is made up of a glass, does it seem right? No. Why we can't use article here? Because the word glass this time is not countable. We cannot count the glass through which the window is made up of, but we can count the glass in which we will drink water. That glass is acting as an object. that we can count. If you can count any object, then there you can use indefinite article a, at, an. Where do we use a and where do we use an? A is used when a word is or a noun is starting with a consonant sound. And an is used when the word is starting with a vowel sound. Here the word sound needs to be focused more because we have to see the sounds, not the letters. For example, an elephant. In this word elephant, the first letter is E and the sound is also the vowel sound A. What are the vowel sounds or vowel letters? The sounds produced by the letters A, E, I, O, U are called vowel sounds. A produce A sound, E produce A sound, I produced I sound, O produced O sound. In the same way, U produced a sound. If you find any of these sound in the beginning of the word, you will use the article an with it. For example, if we see the word honest, it is starting with the letter H. What is the sound of this letter? It produces the sound H. But we do not pronounce it as honest. When we pronounce this word, we say honest. So in the beginning of that word, a vowel sound is produced, that is O, and O is a vowel sound. That is why we say an honest man. If any word is not starting with the vowel sound, any of these vowel sound, then we will use a, the indefinite article a with it. Now where do we use the? When we are talking about any specific thing, there we use the article the. Look at the exercise and try to solve it with me. Let us see which article will be used in these blanks. Where there is a will, there is a way is a famous proverb. Many a wise man has approved it. It is an altogether wrong notion to ignore it. The people who adopt this fine, in this sentence, who are we talking about? The people who adopt this fine principle. That is why we use the definite article the, because we are talking about a specific thing. The people who adopt this fine principle, no article will be used between fine and principle, find an ultimate victory. A man who does not act upon this rule cannot succeed in life. No article will be used in this sentence. What a lesson it has for all of us. Again, no article will be used. Now look at the next exercise, that is about narration, direct and indirect speech. We have discussed some of the rules of narration. How will you change a direct speech into an indirect speech? And I've told you about the simple sentences. How will you change simple sentences into indirect speech? Look at the exercise now. They have given you some example. In exercise B, there is a question mentioned. Recapitulate your previous knowledge about direct and indirect narration and answer the following questions. Can you identify the tenses of the reported speech of the above examples? If you see example A, I replied, I'm trying to make her brain process by her sister. Am trying. Auxiliary verb am and trying present participle is used. Which tense is it? Yes, it is present continuous tense. And whenever we have present continuous tense, we change it into past continuous tense. Look at the examples given. in indirect speech. I replied that I was trying. Instead of am trying, we will say I was trying. Then in example B, are you looking for your patient? She said. In this sentence, again, auxiliary is MR and the present participle is used. That is why it will again be present continuous. So it is present continuous tense. So are you looking for your patient would be changed into I was looking for my patient. Here if you see in this example, that was a question. It was not a simple statement. There is a slight difference when you change an interrogative sentence into indirect speech. The rule is same, that present, if it is present continuous tense, you will change it into past continuous, but that interrogative form will also be changed into simple statement. Instead of saying are you looking for, I will say I was looking for. So what I have done, I've changed the interrogative sentence, interrogative statement into simple statement. And another thing that we have to keep in our mind while changing the interrogative sentences into indirect speech is the conjunction. Which conjunction will we use there? For this purpose, you will see the statement that is provided to you. If this question can be answered in yes or no form, for example, are you looking for your patient? This question can be answered in yes or no form. Yes, I'm looking for my patient, or no, I'm not looking for my patient. This question can be answered in yes or no form. If any of the statement in interrogative sentence can be answered in yes or no form, then you will use the conjunction whether or if. But if it is not answering in yes or no form, then you will not use any conjunction there. You will directly change the interrogative statement into simple statement, keeping the rules in your mind. Now look at the third sentence. It's neither a simple statement nor an interrogative sentence. Then what is it? It is an imperative sentence. What is an imperative sentence? We have read about imperative sentence in class 9. Let us recall the definition. Imperative sentences are the sentences in which any command, request or wish is used. So if you see this sentence, please go and see the other patient. Here you can see a request. If it is a request, then it means it is an imperative sentence. Now come to the point. We were discussing direct and indirect speech. How we change an imperative sentence into indirect speech. If you see an imperative sentence in the direct speech, you have to keep the following points in your mind. In imperative sentence, the reported speech is introduced by some verb expressing command or request. For example, tell, ask, order, request, beg, appeal, internal, advise, forbade, etc., etc. Since it is a request, the doctor said, please go and see the doctor. So what will we say? Which verb will be used in reported speech? Which verb will be used in reporting speech? Instead of said, we will say the doctor requested, and after using that verb, we will use the direct object. The doctor requested whom? The doctor requested me. After this, we will use infinitive. And how will we use infinitive? If you see, please go and see the other patient. In this imperative sentence, what is the verb? The verb used here is go and see. So before go, we will put the word to make it an infinitive. Then the sentence will become, the doctor requested me to go and see the other patient. Second question, what are the rules to change direct statements into indirect statements? The rules of changing direct statements into indirect statements were discussed in part 1. I hope so you have learned all these rules. I'm sharing the slide with you again so you can rewind your previous knowledge. Next question is, what are the rules to change interrogative sentences? We have discussed that earlier. Let us discuss this again one by one. What are the rules to change interrogative sentence? First rule is the verb. Which verb will be used? Instead of said, we will say asked. Since it's a question, so in indirect speech, we will use the verb asked. And then about the conjunction. Which conjunction should be used in interrogative statement while changing the speech of an interrogative statement? So for this purpose, you have to see whether that statement is answering in the form of yes or no. For example, are you looking for your patient? This question can be answered in yes or no form. But if I say, when will you come? That question cannot be answered in yes or no form. So what will you do? The questions that can be answered in yes or no form, there you will use whether or if as a conjunction. And the statements that cannot be answered in yes or no form, there no conjunctions will be used. The third rule is changing the interrogative statement into simple statement. For example, are you looking for your patient will become I was looking for my patient. Instead of saying was I looking for my patient, instead of keeping the statement in interrogative form, we will change this statement into simple statement. Now you can see the next exercise given to you. Rewrite paragraph number 3 of unit in indirect speech. Look at paragraph number 3. Try to solve it by yourself once, and you can pause this video until you are done with this exercise. Once you are done, you can start from the same point and you can check your answers. These are the right options. I hope you are done with your exercise. You can check your answers now. Okay, let us move to exercise D. Change the narration of the following sentences. He said to him, what are you reading? First sentence. Second is, he said, you have made a mistake. Third is, she said, do not waste your time. Fourth is, he said to me, will you watch a drama tonight? And the fifth one is, she said to her sister, please listen to me. I've given some hints to you to solve this exercise. You can use these hints while changing these statements into indirect speech. Do it by yourself. Pause this video. Once you are done, you can start from the same point and you can check the right answers. I hope so you are done with this exercise now. You can check your answers. Our next topic is compound prepositions. Now, what are prepositions? Preposition is a word that tells you the position of a noun. For example, the book is placed on the table. See the second example, the book is placed under the table. Sentence number 3, the book is placed beside the table, or we may say the book is placed in front of the table. If you see the words on, under, beside, in front of, what function are they performing in all these sentences? These words are telling us the position of the noun book. In this way, all these words will become preposition. Now, there are so many kinds of preposition. Simple preposition that consist of the single words. For example, in, on, of, and then there are compound preposition. What are compound prepositions? Look at the definition. Compound prepositions are two or more words working together as one word and functioning as a preposition. For example, he could not attend the seminar because of his brother's marriage. Now in this sentence, the word because of, these are two words, because and of. But these two words here in this example are acting as one single word and they are functioning as a preposition. So when two words combine together, act as a single word and works as a preposition, will be called compound preposition. Look at exercise E. Complete the sentences with the given compound preposition. Compound prepositions are already given to you. What you are supposed to do, you have to use correct compound preposition in the following sentences. Try to solve it by yourselves. You can pause this video until you solve this exercise. Once you are done with it, you can start from the same point and you can check your answers. Okay, I hope so you are done with this exercise. Our next topic is past perfect continuous tense. What is past perfect continuous tense? It acts in the same way as past perfect tense do. How past perfect tense act? In past perfect tense, when there are two past actions, the first past action is written in past perfect tense. In the same way, when there are two past action, the first past but ongoing action will be written in past perfect continuous tense. So the only difference between past perfect and past perfect continuous tense is the continuity of the action. In past perfect, the action will be completed and it will be completed first. In past perfect continuous tense, the action will be completed first, but it will be ongoing. For example, Rahim started waiting at 9 a.m. I arrived at 11 a.m. When I arrived, Rahim had been waiting for 2 hours. What was the first past action? He had been waiting for him for 2 hours. That was the first past action, and then later I arrived. So the first past action is in past perfect continuous tense. Why it is in past perfect continuous tense? Because although it is the first past action, but it was continuous. Rahim continuously waited for me for 2 hours. That is why I will say Rahim had been waiting for 2 hours. We also use for and since with the past perfect continuous tense because of the time element present here. Where do we use for and where do we use since? Let us discuss it. For is used when the exact time is not mentioned, and since is used when exact time is mentioned to you, when we are talking about any specific time period. For example, January, I'm talking about the specific month. 1947, I'm talking about a specific year. Yesterday, I'm talking about a specific day. Since my childhood, I'm talking about a specific time period. When? My childhood. I'm talking about when? Which period? My childhood. So all these are specific time periods that I told you. If we are talking about specific time periods, exact time periods, then we will use since. If we are not talking about any specific time period, we are generally talking about something, for example, 2 hours. Which 2 hours we are talking about, that we do not know. It is not specific. We haven't mentioned specifically which 2 hours we specifically talking about. That is why we will use here for. In the same way, 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades. Which 2 decades are we talking about? Which 2 years are we talking about? Which 2 months are we talking about? Which 2 days are we talking about? We do not know. I haven't mentioned any specific time period. That is why I'll use for here. I hope so the usage of for and since is also clear to you. Look at the exercise given to you. According to your knowledge of past perfect continuous tense, complete this exercise. You can pause this video and solve this exercise. Once you are done with it, you can start from the same point and check your answers. I hope you are done with this exercise. You can check your answers now. Next is exercise G. Make 5 sentences using the past perfect continuous tense and convert them into negative and interrogative sentence. How you convert an past perfect continuous tense into negative and interrogative sentence? We can change a sentence into negative and interrogative sentence with the help of the auxiliary verb used in the sentence. So which auxiliary verb is used in past perfect continuous tense? Yes, had been. We use the auxiliary verb to make a sentence into negative or interrogative sentence. If we want to change a sentence into negative sentence, what we do? We add not with the auxiliary verb of that sentence. For example, Rahim had been waiting for 2 hours. If I want to change that sentence, what will we do? What is the auxiliary verb? Had been. If I want to change it into negative, I'll add not with that auxiliary verb. So that sentence will become Rahim had not been waiting for 2 hours. In the same way, if I want to change a present perfect continuous tense into interrogative sentence, I'll again take help of the auxiliary verb that is used in this sentence. And what is the auxiliary verb? Had again, had been. So I'll use that auxiliary verb in the beginning of the sentence to make it interrogative. I'll use the verb had in the beginning of the sentence to make it interrogative. So we will say, had Rahim been waiting for 2 hours? In this way, the helping verb had helped us to make this sentence, to change this statement into negative and interrogative sentence. In exercise G, they asked you to make 5 sentences using past perfect continuous tense and convert them into negative and interrogative sentence. So what you are supposed to do, you will first make 5 sentences in present perfect continuous tense. Then you will change the same sentences into negative, and then you will change the same sentences into interrogative, like I have done for you. For example, Rahim had been waiting for 2 hours. That is past perfect continuous tense. Now I will change the same sentence into negative sentence. Rahim had not been waiting for 2 hours. And now I'll change the same sentence into interrogative. Had Rahim been waiting for 2 hours? In the same way, you will also make 5 sentences and will change them into negative and interrogative. This exercise will be solved by yourself. I hope this topic is clear to you now. Now we will move to page number 102. There is writing skills, part A, exercise A. This exercise says, write a summary of the story in your own words, retelling the nurse's struggle and how the problem was solved. So what you will discuss in this exercise? While writing the summary, first you will look at your books. A mind map is provided to you to help you out to write the summary in your own words. First they say to write the title of the topic. What is the title of that lesson? All is not lost. So you will say this lesson, the title of this lesson is All is Not Lost. Then they made 3 columns for you: beginning, middle and end. So You will tell about the beginning of the story, how the story begins, and you will write at least two main events in the beginning of the beginning of the story. Then you will mention the middle of the story, what happened in the middle of the story, and to tell us about what happened in the middle of the story, you will mention 2 points. And in the same way, how the story ends, again you will tell any two main events to end the story. Key points are given to you to help you out in writing the summary. You can use these utilize these points while you are doing your summary.